welcome to the Charlotte Coliseum in Charlotte, North Carolina, and this is the opening act of a big NBA on TNT Friday night doubleheader. Coming up later, the 76ers against the Lakers, featuring Allen Iverson against Shaquille O'Neal. But coming up now is the Toronto Raptors against the Charlotte Hornets. And good evening, everyone. Dick Stockton along with Hubie Brown and Reggie Theus. Plenty of buzz around these parts. The Hornets are hot. Vince Carter returns to Carolina, and his Tar Heels are in the Final Four with the national semifinal tomorrow. But this game tonight is a battle for the 5th spot in the Eastern Conference, and a victory by the Hornets will vault them over Toronto into the number 5 position as we get to the final stages of the regular season. And Hubie, the Toronto Raptors are struggling as of late. They have lost 5 of their last 6, including a tough loss in New Jersey. What's behind their slide lately?
Well, Dick, I like to think that they do not bring their A game night in and night out. This is backed up with 14 losses to sub-500 teams. Now, they do have a major upside. They are in the top 6 in 4 major categories. And by that, shot attempts, assists, fewest turnovers, offensive rebounding. And then in games decided by 3 points or less, dynamite. 12 wins and 4 losses. But we'd like to show you the last 18 games. Now, you can see they started out 11-1. Well, they're 1-5 in the last 6. Well, what's the problem? Sure, they're scoring 2 less points, and you can see in the first 12 there was a +3 points over the defense, and then a -7. Now, what's the problem there? Well, you can see the shooting at only 41%, and the opposition, Dick, is averaging over 100 points a game. A major no-no.
Yeah, too many 100-point pluses on defense, not the answer here. The Charlotte Hornets, on the other hand, have won 4 straight, and the only damper to them is the fact that their leading rebounder and second leading scorer, Derek Coleman, inflamed knee, is not going to play tonight. Now, this team has dominated Toronto, winning 2 out of 3, the last 2 games by margins of 21 and 18 points.
Well, you have to go back and look at the averages, and you can see that what they have done, the starters have averaged between 14 and 25 points, paced by Eddie Jones at 25. They have dominated the scoring, 10 points a game. The rebounding, a +12. Getting to the foul line, critical for Charlotte, a +12. And they're out shooting them 48-44, a total dominance. Now, the main guy in all of this and having a wonderful season is Eddie Jones, an all-star player, and you can see the 20 points, not bad shooting. He leads the league in steals, and then, Dick, he also gives you 5 rebounds a game. Not bad.
And Anthony Mason playing well as of late. So this Charlotte team is on a roll. It's not a good matchup for Toronto, but we'll see what Vince Carter, what kind of magic he can bring tonight as the Raptors try to end their slide and win on the road.
Just a minute. Poor baby. Wow, 125. I'll go download your homework.
The Microsoft Connected Learning Community. With internet software that connects, you'll never miss school. Sorry.
There's a lot more to working in AutoZone than looking up parts or ringing up sales. And it has to do with taking pride in taking care of customers. Like testing an old part before selling a new one. Or simply having what they need when they need it. In other words, it's about taking care of people who take care of cars. And that's what we do best at AutoZone.
Things have changed, Jack.
What do you mean?
You never laugh anymore.
Of course we laugh.
Oh, Jack.
Do you remember that time at Wendy's? We had those Monterey Ranch chicken sandwiches.
Those were good.
I've never seen you so happy.
That was over a year ago.
Well, get happy again because Wendy's Monterey Ranch chicken sandwich is back. With a whole breast filet Monterey Jack and ranch dressing with bacon, you can't help but feel good.
The love is back.
Wendy's Monterey Ranch.
Hello? Yeah, where are you?
No.
Excuse me, I'm working. It's your opera and I'm gonna catch a red eye tonight. Yeah, that's right. What? Ah!
Stay in touch without disturbing anyone with two-way paging and email from SkyTel, the first name in advanced messaging.
Tonight we close the books on the month of March with the Raptors and the Hornets, followed by the Sixers and the Lakers. Ernie Johnson in Atlanta, along with Kenny the Jet Smith, top two scorers in the league, on display in Game 2 of our doubleheader. Allen Iverson averaging 29.2, Shaquille O'Neal 29 flat, Kenny.
Contrasting guys. If you look at Shaquille O'Neal's size, strength, it's probably another wonder of the world. Guy you can't be like. Then you have Allen Iverson on the other hand. He's smaller, 6 feet tall. He's the guy that everyone says, I can play like him. He relies on skills. But what I like about both of these guys, they're like the boxer who doesn't, they'll throw punches. They don't just stand back there and take those punches. They play offense. I like that.
Sixers have the best record in the East since the All-Star break. The Lakers, 7.5-game lead over the Portland Trail Blazers, and Phil Jackson, as only he can say, says the concept now is to eliminate Portland as quickly as possible, then move into a phase to generate and moderate the time and effort by each player to maintain a level to the end of the season, meaning they want to eliminate Portland so they can rest some guys.
That sounds like Star Wars or Star Trek or one of that at the beginning of Star Trek something.
Phil speak. And more
too much television, Phil. Read some more books.
Impossible to watch too much television, we hope, because we're playing 2 tonight on TNT. Half man, half amazing Vince Carter gets us started as the Raptors take on Eddie Jones and the Hornets. Enjoy it, folks.
He's dead.
The 5th one this week. Just get so tired with these long brain operations. What can I do?
Start with the essentials.
Power bar. Isn't that just for athletes?
Not anymore. Power Bar Essentials is a delicious super snack that helps give you the energy you need to operate more effectively. Diagnosis?
Just to die for.
Next. Greetings, television viewers. We are in the midst of a technological revolution, a time where anything as unbelievable as it may look or sound is possible. With that said, I'm here to tell you that you can have totally free internet service. That's right. Read my lips. 100% free internet service. You never have to pay. Not now, not when pigs fly away, not ever. Good day.
Hey, sweetie.
It's not that easy, is it?
It's real easy. With 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls. All you have to do is dial right down the center.
1-800-CALLATT.
For the same low rate every minute, everywhere, dial 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls.
It's all good.
The NBA on TNT, brought to you by Smooth Bush Beer and Easy Drinking Bush Light. By Volkswagen. On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers. Drivers wanted. By Budget, who has a variety of great rental cars for people who like renting great cars. And by 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls.
And welcome back to the Charlotte Coliseum, getting ready for the game between the Raptors and the Hornets. It'll be Charles Oakley up front with Vince Carter, Antonio Davis at center, and in the backcourt, Tracy McGrady and Doug Christie for the Hornets. The big change there, Chucky Brown is making his first start in a Hornet uniform. Started 27 for San Antonio earlier this year for the injured Derek Coleman and the rest of the cast. Right now, let's send it out to Reggie Theus.
All right, thanks a lot, Dick.
two guys that are not in the starting lineup for the Raptors tonight are two guys that started their career here in Charlotte. It's inaugural season. Del Curry and Muggsy Bogues. I talked to both players before the game, and they said the one thing that they remember most about playing here are the fans and the people that they ran into down here. Now, of course, Muggsy said he went to college only an hour away from here, and this is where he made his name in basketball, so this will always be his home court. Now, Del Curry, he had to buy 30 tickets tonight's game, and he said what he remembers most is that first game here, they were down by 40 points, and they got 2 standing ovations. So here's two guys that are at home playing in this building, and when they come in tonight, the fans will probably let them know.
All right, Reggie. Well, Muggsy can light it up, and Del Curry, in the one win the Raptors have against Charlotte, scored all 14 points that he scored that night in the second half. But one of the greats of that early days of the franchise.
Well, Del Curry is the leading scorer in the history of the Charlotte franchise. Muggsy Bogues, the leading assist man.
The officials tonight, Ronnie Nunn, Mike Callahan, and Rodney Mott. The Raptors losing in New Jersey, 107-103 last night. The Hornets played Wednesday night and won at Detroit, 98-91. Shooting 56% in the fourth quarter. They have won 4 in a row and 3 straight on the road. Now, Toronto has to turn it around on the road, and Vince Carter off a 39-point effort last night, but also hit with a technical foul. And it looks like the Raptors are having some rocky times as of late, trying to get the ship straight down the stretch. And the opening tip controlled by the Hornets.
When the Hornets are on their game, they're going to shoot anywhere from 28 to 35 foul shot attempts. They are very strong up front and definitely tough in the paint.
And here is Wesley hitting the first shot of the game. David Wesley with the basket, giving the Hornets the lead.
Well, he's on a tear right now. He has definitely picked up his game since the All-Star break. He's shooting a nice percentage, leading this team, and scoring a ton of points.
Vince Carter getting it down low to Antonio Davis, a power forward playing center as a starter this year. The former Indiana Pacer ties the game.
Well, that's what he does well. He's a good 10 to 15-foot jump shooter facing the basket.
And beating the Raptors down court, Eddie Jones. And you mentioned how great Eddie Jones has been lately for this team. Jones, the leading scorer, coming in averaging over 20 a game. And here is Christie trying to post up against Wesley and driving the baseline. All alone in the corner is Davis. Ball knocked out of bounds, last touched by the Hornets.
Now, in the early 2 possessions, Dick, for the Raptors, you can see that any time that a Raptor center or power forward posts up, they are not double teaming. But if Christie is in there in a mismatch with Wesley, we will see the double team quick.
Mason is guarding Carter, and that is a very tough matchup for Vince Carter, who uses a screen by Davis. In and out, and Mason the rebound. Anthony Mason bringing it up, and the point forward, so to speak, leaves it for Eldon Campbell, puts the fake on Oakley and hits the shot, and the Hornets lead by 4.
Well, Anthony Mason is an outstanding passer. He can create off the dribble, and look for Eldon Campbell with that 15 to 18-foot jump shot.
Carter, very difficult to post up against the likes of Anthony Mason. A tough matchup. Carter has scored 18, 18, and 24 in the 3 games against Charlotte. Not up to standard. So the Hornets with a 4-point lead, nearly 2 minutes gone by.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested here because in the early going, no one is trying to break out of here quick on the fast break after a miss.
Campbell open on the pick and spot up, misses the shot. And that is the first miss from the field for the Hornets tonight. Here is Tracy McGrady going strong to the basket, gets the hoop and the foul. So Tracy McGrady, who played his prep basketball not far from here in Durham, North Carolina. Here it is, the 3-point opportunity.
Well, McGrady is extremely tough. He's a 6'8" shoe guard. The battle tonight with Eddie Jones will be interesting to watch. Now you can see right here Butch Carter
talking things over with Vince Carter during that free throw. There is Butch Carter, who's trying to get the team straightened out as a contract extension through the 2002-2003 years. Mason working his way in, and good defense inside Antonio Davis. It is 6 6-5 in favor of the Hornets. Eldon Campbell picked up that last foul for Charlotte, and 16 on the shot clock for the Raptors.
Well, in the possessions down the floor here, 4 straight times now they've looked to post up a different player. And it's going to be interesting to see, because what it does, it just slows down your continuity.
Mason trying to deny Vince Carter, now picking up Tracy McGrady on the switch. They go inside, and there is McGrady on a busted play getting his second basket.
Well, Dick, he's the second leading scorer on the team, right at 15 points a game.
And coming back down after the turnover, McGrady, who has started 22 games coming into this one, misses a twisting layup attempt. Loose ball, and Eddie Jones corrals it.
Yeah, Eddie Jones has got to pay attention tonight. We know he's an excellent defender. He's an all-star player, but he's going to be challenged by McGrady.
The Hornets have outshot and out-rebounded their opponents 3 of the last 4 times, and when they do that, normally that's a victory. Anthony Mason with his first points. In fact, when the Hornets outshoot and out-rebound their foes, they are 14-0 on the season. Hornets regaining the lead by 1. Christie going down low. Antonio Davis missing the turnaround.
That was a nice back screen by Christie. Then when they came to the top, post your man right in front of the rim. Beautiful post-up. Unfortunately, no basket.
Here's Mason in the lane. Driving through, going up with a very difficult scoop lay-in. Good ad-lib by Anthony Mason.
In the early going, Carter is having a very difficult time defending Anthony Mason. He's just pulling him down on the post, and he's going right by him at ease off the dribble.
Carter hitting the shot. So Vince Carter with his first points of the game, coming in the 4th leading scorer in the league, averaging 26 a game.
Well, Paul Silas is up, giving the referee, Rodney Mott, some heat over the fact that Mason was knocked down, and that's how Vince Carter came open.
Campbell feeding Mason, the cutter coming in. The open down the middle, and Anthony Mason has 6 of the first 12 Charlotte points.
Yeah, Dick, it's okay to double team a guy on the wing, but somebody must pick up the cutter.
And a wild miss by Christie. So the Hornets, who have won 2 out of 3 and the 2 games in convincing fashion against the Raptors with a 3-point lead on the ball. Nearly 5 minutes have gone by in the opening quarter. Wesley off a screen hits, and Charlotte red hot from the field. They have hit 7 of their first 10.
See, Charlotte is giving us motion. They're giving us a fast break after a Toronto score up on the sidelines. They're giving us a nice post-up game. They're showing us a lot of offense.
Tracy McGrady misses from outside, and Mason the rebound. One of the big problems lately for the Raptors, Hubie, too many jump shots. And there is Chucky Brown on the drive. So Brown starting the game, misses the drive, and the Raptors come back.
Oh,
Chris
wow.
Carter hitting a 3. Vince Carter wasting little time in hitting the 3-point basket, and it's a 2-point Charlotte lead.
I thought he was only an arm's reach from our table, all right? I mean, that's how far he was behind the line.
Here's Eldon Campbell working on Antonio Davis with the hook shot. And getting the rebound is Davis for the Raptors. Toronto was in 4th position in the Eastern Conference for a while. Now could drop down to 6th if they lose tonight here at Charlotte. Vince Carter from the corner doesn't make it. Hornets have led virtually all the way in this first quarter with under 6 minutes to go. Campbell and Antonio Davis wrestling each other down low. Here is Eldon Campbell with a fall away. Eldon Campbell, who is pleasing Paul Silas now. It wasn't there before, but all of a sudden he turned his game around.
Well, we know that he's an excellent offensive player. All those years that Shaq would miss 20 to 30 games with injuries in L.A., Eldon would fill in with 18 points and 9 rebounds. Game after game after game.
Vince Carter playing a one-man game out there, missing the shot 16-12, and the Raptors get it back. Christie feeding Carter. Carter going in with a windmill hook, and he's fouled.
You have to be careful with Doug Christie. Doug Christie is excellent in anticipation, usually in the top 10 in steals. And then at the other end, we have Eddie Jones, who leads the league in steals. Now here we have just a strong move here with a jump step. You feel he gets away with a half of a move here, a half a step. They definitely could have called a travel in that situation.
Refreshing as a mountain stream. Head for the mountains of Busch beer.
We'd like to show you a two-man game here for Charlotte. The basketball is right here. The ball is going to be past Elton Campbell. But keep an eye on the three guys who are high. That means their defenders have got to be above the line. Once the pass is made and the cutter cuts through, there is no one to pick him up because they go for the trap. You cannot do this. You cannot make that trap and then allow the cutter to go to the basket. You're going to run a layup drill.
Anthony Mason in the last 4 games practically averaging a triple-double, and he has come on big, and the best part of his game is the fact that he'll really punish people inside, and a great interior passer. Vince Carter is on the free throw line, and before the game asked him about his plans tomorrow. He says, I'm going to watch the North Carolina Tar Heels when they go against Florida in the semifinal in my home in Toronto all by myself. If you really want to concentrate on the game and not have
spoken like a true Tar Heel.
Idle talk, you watch the game on your own. Carter hits the free throws, and it's a 16-14 game. Carter off to a good start with 7. Chucky Brown going down low to Mason. Oakley defending Mason. 2 former New York Knicks. Mason double teamed, and he finds Campbell. Good pass inside to Brown. The ball knocked away. Getting a piece of it was Vince Carter.
Now the fans are kind of on edge right now. Chucky Brown has had 3 excellent opportunities, and he's 0 for 3.
Carter with a turnaround and a put through on the putback by Antonio Davis.
Well, we have 2 excellent offensive rebounding teams here tonight, so you must pay attention.
Tied at 16-16, and right now we want to welcome those watching in Canada tonight on TSN as the Raptors trying to clinch a 500 record for the first time in their 5-year history. They're by far their most successful season. Eddie Jones hitting a 3. So Jones, who has had big scoring games of 26, 25, and 25 points in the 3 games against Toronto, now has 5 points.
Well, that's a major part of his arsenal this year with Charlotte. He attempts 4 threes a game, and he's shooting it at 38%.
Winding down to 4 minutes remaining, and Vince Carter off the front rim. It goes out of bounds, and it's last touched by the Hornets, who lead by 3.
In the last 6 games for Toronto, they are 1-5. The reason being that Vince Carter is struggling. He's only shooting 34% in these 6 games. What happens now is that he needs more shots to get his points. So what's happening is too many people are standing around, and we can see that already in this first quarter.
Carter's already put up 7 shots in this first quarter with 3:45 to go. Backing in is Mason. That's what he does best. Anthony Mason now with 8 points. He leads the Hornets, who are up by 5.
See, right now on the last 2 posts up by Anthony Mason, Oakley was on him, and Mason roughed him up and took him right to the rim.
Oakley picked up. You got to respect his outside shot by Chucky Brown. And there is Vince Carter hitting a three. So Carter hitting his second three-point basket.
Well, you remember when he came in the league, Dick, everyone questioned, could he shoot outside and could he ever make the three? Well, he's making it at 39%, and he's attempting 3 a game, and tonight he's on fire for the home folks.
He has led the Raptors in scoring in each of the last 27 games. And right now he has started out with 10 points, and committing the foul, Antonio Davis, and will send Anthony Mason to the free throw line. Those are Vince Carter's three-point percentages in his first 2 years in the league. Mason a lot more confident going to the free throw line now and not afraid to go to the line, and very dangerous.
Well, early on in his career, he was always in the 60s, Dick. Right now, he has the foul shooting up to over 72%. He's changed his approach on the foul line many, many times. But you can see tonight, he looked comfortable in those two.
No question about it. He has 10 points, as does Vince Carter. Under 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. Eldon Campbell coming out to meet Carter, and Carter hits. He has 12 points in the game. Remember, this is Vince Carter, who has won 7 different games with the last shot, although the other night it was Charles Oakley who hit the three to beat the Cavaliers. 2-point lead for the Hornets, 23-21, and Eddie Jones trying to beat his man off the dribble is fouled. D. Brown checking into the game for the Toronto Raptors. And a timeout called with 2:39 remaining in the first.
Now keep an eye on Vince Carter. See, he's working hard. Charlotte switching. He knows he has a mismatch right here. You could see Elton Campbell gave him the space, which opened up the jump shot.
CNN Sports Illustrated, the sports network more people are switching to. Call your cable or satellite provider.
Welcome to the Foot Locker House of Hoops. Today we're going to install a fire prevention system. Hey, Alan, how's it coming?
All fire systems go, Norm.
Well, let's give it a test, shall we?
Cool.
Boy, Alan sure is hot. Just like this Nike Air Diversity Up Tempo, which you can only get at Foot Locker. Well, that's all for the House of Hoops.
So, what are you going to do for dinner tonight?
The answer's as easy as KFC.
Introducing the Colonel's Meal Deal Days. For a very short time only, start your meal with 9 pieces of the Colonel's Extra Crispy Chicken for just $7.99.
Woo! Can't keep that fresh, quiet.
Or grab the Colonel's Extra Crispy Square Deal Meal with a leg and a thigh, mashed potatoes and gravy, and a biscuit, all just $1.99. Hurry, this deal ends soon.
Want to do chicken right at a right good price? Come see me.
Metro Sports brings you the most comprehensive coverage of local sports in Kansas City. But you won't find Metro Sports on satellite because Metro Sports is available only on cable. With Metro Sports Talk, Metro Sports Sunday, Chiefs postgame show, Wizards Soccer, Missouri, K-State, KU, and UMKC and high school sports, we cover the Metro area like no one else. You'll see the most complete coverage of local sports only on Metro Sports. And you'll find Metro Sports only on cable.
Ernie Johnson in our Atlanta studio. How about a live look at the Indiana Pacers and the Minnesota Timberwolves? A 10-point game at Conseco Fieldhouse. Indiana trying to hang on to the top spot in the Eastern Conference. Their lead over Miami just 2 games now. Meantime, Minnesota, number 6 in the West, still has a shot at home court, the number 4 spot in the West. They have played well lately, winning 7 of their last 8. Indiana up by 11. Back to Dick and Hubie.
All right, Ernie, thank you very much. Look at this graphic. The Pacers have the best record in the East in the last 10 games, 5-5. So if all you can do in the last 10 is 500, and that leads the parade, that doesn't say much.
Well, we know that at playoff time, it really is a crapshoot, and especially now that New York is healthy. You're looking and hoping for a healthy Miami when we get down to the nitty-gritty, and it's going to be wide open. Dangerous team. Watch those 60s, 76ers.
Everyone's talking about Philadelphia, a team no one really wants to play. And an offensive foul called as Oakley is run into, and that'll be the second personal foul on Eldon Campbell. Coming up next on TNT, the second half of our doubleheader. The 76ers, we're just talking about them. They go against the Lakers. You know, these Raptors beat the Lakers in Los Angeles. to distinguish themselves this season. Then Tuesday on TNT, the Pistons play at Toronto against the Raptors, followed by the Lakers at the Suns. Coverage begins at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. D. Brown in there along with Christie, Oakley, Vince Carter, and Antonio Davis.
Two-man game.
Here is the Carter, defended by Mason. Brown coming over to double team, and there's Christie for three, and Brown getting the rebound. Todd Fuller has come into the ball game. He was a hero in the Atlanta contest when Eldon Campbell had to beg off with stomach pains. Fuller had a big game. Eddie Jones with the ball away, and you can see why Eddie Jones, though he has 7 points, and he is the leading scorer for this team and a starter for the East in the All-Star game, as UB pointed out. Under 2 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Carter has 12 points. Pretty. And now this puts the shot up and the rebound by Brown.
Yeah, he was looking for the call that time. Mason definitely caught him with his chest.
And another offensive foul.
Yeah, see, Oakley's really hot. Oakley's hot because he got nailed right on the jaw. Now just keep an eye on this replay. Just watch what happens when the ball comes inside. You should see on the backlash, he catches up right on the jaw. Now, that's the second time that Mason has popped Oakley.
And that's why he knocked the ball out of his hands, and Mason had to understand that reaction by Charles Oakley. Under 1.5 minutes remaining in the first. Down low, Davis misses his first, gets the rebound, and puts it through. So Antonio Davis now with 6 points. He's the leading rebounder for the Raptors.
Well, if they'll just stay with some of that baseline screening for Antonio Davis, it will open up a low post game for them.
Fuller trying to set a screen. Nothing there on the pick and roll. Fuller down low gives it back to Eddie Jones, and a Toronto foul with 58 seconds remaining in the first quarter. The personal foul is on Christie, Doug's second. Tracy McGrady checking back in, replacing Christie. So Brown and McGrady are the two guards now. 2-point lead for the Hornets, 25-23. McGrady doing a good job staying with Jones.
They shoot it.
Mason with 1 on the clock. And Oakley getting the rebound and knocked away. No foul call. Jones just knocked it away from Charles Oakley. And a new clock for the Hornets.
When you lead the league in steals, you do get away with grabbing the wrist.
Here is Mason with the hook shot. Anthony Mason with 12 first quarter points, matching him with Vince Carter. And the Hornets lead by 4. Under a half a minute to go, and 18 now remaining on the shot clock for the Raptors. Toronto coming in at 17 and 18 on the road. Really no worse than anyone else in the Eastern Conference. D. Brown, 3-point threat. Wesley won't give it to him. Davis given the shot by Fuller and misses. And the final seconds here of the first quarter. Wesley checks the clock at midcourt, fires it up, and it bounces off the rim. That was close. And that will do it for the first quarter. Anthony Mason on 5 for 7 shooting and 12 points in the game. Vince Carter had 12. And after one, the Hornets lead the Raptors by a score of 27-23.
Refreshing as a mountain stream. Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush beer.
Send your phone company a message. Join us at phonefree.com, and calling long distance will be totally free. Know something? So will you. Phonefree.com. Let freedom ring.
Look at like that. So beautiful. Bellissimo. Be gentle. Hold it like this. Do not rush. Enjoy every moment. Ah, the onion. Such a beautiful thing.
Got to admit, it's getting better.
Philips High Definition TV, as real as it gets.
AOL membership gives you more benefits, and it's never been easier.
It's so easy to use.
You just plug it in.
AOL Parental Controls help safeguard your kids.
Customer service is always there to help.
AOL has it all. Email, buddy lists, keyword.
Type in the keyword and boom, you're there.
Instant messages are the universal language.
AOL simplifies my life.
AOL's Insider Savings Club saves you hundreds of dollars every month.
AOL is always adding new stuff to make life easier.
America Online. So easy to use, no wonder it's #1. Call now, and we'll sign you up right over the phone.
Now, get the biggest enlistment bonus the Army has ever offered. As much as $20,000. Plus up to $50,000 to pay for college. For your future, for your country's future. Call today. 1-800-USA-ARMY.
What was that?
A Butterfinger, Grandpa.
Well, stop it.
Okay.
I said stop it!
I did.
Oh, this doggone plastic underwear.
Crispity, peanut buttery taste. Bite my Butterfinger.
Start of the second quarter, the Hornets lead by 4. I want to take this time right now, UB, to congratulate you on being nominated in the analyst category for an Emmy. Well-deserved. We've known that for many, many years, and I think it's a great reflection on the contribution that you have made and the kind of work you have done over the years.
Well, I really appreciate that, Dick. But as we all know, in this business, the announcer and the analyst work hand in hand, and we're only as good as the producer and the director.
That's
right.
right.
I learned that in my very first telecast. So I'd like to thank the guys in the truck as long as Dick Stockton.
Thank you very much. And, of course, everyone I talk with, at least the 4 people I talk to, so really richly.
Now, in the early going, Vince Carter gets off 10 shots here in that first quarter. He's one of a handful of guys in this league who get 20 shots up a night.
Tracy McGrady with a spectacular play. Muggsy Bogues has come in the game. As Reggie pointed out, along with Del Curry, one of the Hornets from the early days. He has come in. So D. Brown and Muggsy Bogues defensively. Anthony Mason. Baron Davis, the rookie from UCLA, is in there for Charlotte. And Eddie Jones changes hands, goes up for the lay-in, and is fouled. Eddie Jones, talking to Paul Silas earlier before the game, says the key now for him is to keep his strength up.
He's down to 180 pounds, and Paul Silas said it was just interesting because he's working so hard at both ends of the floor. So what they have to do is keep a very close check on his stamina. He's also having major problems sleeping. So they are using some types of medication to try to help him along that line, because this is a guy who plays with a great deal of energy. You cannot average 20 points in this league and then come in as a 2 guard with 5 rebounds a game, lead the league in steals by sitting in a rocking chair.
That's right. Jones missing his first free throw. Anthony Mason gets a hand as he leaves with 12 points.
Now, Mason had a very nice quarter. Not only did he score the points, but he distributed the basketball, and he's doing a good job defensively. You know, I know Carter has the 12 points, but he's banging them around.
Tracy McGrady is the only starter still in there for Toronto. Kevin Willis has come in, and they need his low post offense, which he showed there. So it's McGrady along with D. Brown, Willis. Del Curry has come into the game as well. And a foul charge to Muggsy Bogues, his first. Baron Davis, the 3rd overall pick from UCLA, is in the backcourt with David Wesley. There is Davis, who's learning the game in his first year. Fuller remains at center. And Eddie Robinson, who has really come up big, in there with Jones. In and out for Fuller. Rebound McGrady.
Now, you love it when Muggsy Bogues is in there. You know, the guy is only 5'3". He's had an incredible career. Now, the guy with talent is that man who just made that shot. 6'8", can play inside, outside, play 3 positions, do it well, and shoots a high percentage.
6 double-doubles in his last 17 games for Tracy McGrady. Wesley from the perimeter and gets the ball back as the Raptors careless with the ball in their backcourt. 29-28, the Raptors leading by 1, and Fuller gets in and misses the layup. Fuller misses the easy layup. And here's Muggsy Bogues turning it on, and the ball kicked away by Robinson. So the Raptors still maintain possession.
What you just saw there is one of the very few times that you'll see Muggsy Bogues take a risky pass attempt. He leads the league at 4.7 assists for every turnover. And that one, he needed a gun and a bullet to get it through there, Dick. All right?
He perennially has been the leader in that department. And D. Brown hitting. D. Brown with the basket, and he'll be important according to Butch Carter come playoff time. He is focused, back in shape after being out with a couple of injuries. So the Raptors on an 8-1 run. Fuller does not miss this time. Good fake and a basket. And an interesting game as the Raptors leading the Hornets by 1 with 2.5 going by in the second.
Now, Fuller can make a name for himself here. He did an excellent job at North Carolina State. 3 years of up and down play with Golden State. Now he has found the home.
D. Brown hitting his second three. So D. Brown, who is third in three-point percentage at nearly 38%, giving Toronto the 4-point lead.
That's the first time we're seeing a half-court trap. Now, one trap, they'll match up.
Eddie Jones for three. Long rebound comes down to McGrady. Tracy McGrady, who came out of high school right to the NBA. Robinson going for the steal. Del Curry, who's really the specialist in three-point shots, misses that time. And once again, Charlotte coming back. And three-point attempt missing by Baron Davis. And pushing it up now is Bogues, 4-on-2. And Muggsy Bogues with a runner in the lane.
He's having an excellent year. They're very happy with his shooting. They're very happy with him on the foul line, shooting 92%. We know that he makes the play. He comes in at the beginning of the second quarter and the beginning of the fourth quarter. They love his energy because it picks up the tempo of the game.
And the Raptors have opened up their biggest of the game, 6 points.
Refreshing as a mountain stream. Head for the mountains of Busch Beer.
What could you do with an extra $4,700? Well, during Chrysler's National Minivan Savings Event, get 0.9 financing for 60 months for over $4,700 in finance savings. Only your Chrysler Plymouth dealer has this offer and this selection of minivans. So indulge yourself. Or not. Only Chrysler offers 0.9 financing for 60 months on all 2000 minivans.
Welcome to the Foot Locker House of Hoops. Today we're going to install a fire prevention system. Hey, Alan, how's it coming?
All fire systems go, Norm.
Well, let's give it a test, shall we?
Cool.
Boy, Alan sure is hot. Just like this Nike Air Diversity Up Tempo, which you can only get at Foot Locker. Well, that's all for the House of Hoops.
The roof is on fire!
Well, there's a promo. Stay tuned inside the NBA following Lakers Sixers. We don't have to give it. 36-30, Toronto leading.
Now, Tracy McGrady has it all. He can take it to the rim, finish. He's an excellent foul shooter. We know that he has the mid-range game. He's not a three-point shooter. His game basically is 18 feet and down. But because of his size and playing in the backcourt at either point guard or two, he shoots up over the top of you. Second leading scorer for Toronto, shoots a solid 45 from the field.
And the Raptors are very hopeful that they can keep him and build something along with Vince Carter. Here is McGrady defending against Mason in the low post, double team. Baron Davis hitting the shot. Baron Davis, the rookie from UCLA, 6th in assists among rookies and still learning. Curry beating Willis. Philly Driving the lane, Kevin Willis.
Well, once again, we had a team beat the other team down the floor, and then what happens is when the ball goes to the wing, they're trying to trap. Well, you can't trap unless you have protection. Now, this is the second time tonight we're seeing the 1-2-2 zone trapped by Toronto.
Wesley hitting from the perimeter. David Wesley, who's getting the swagger back, as you indicated, after being a kind of pensive. Of course, this franchise still trying to rebound from the tragic and traumatic death of Bobby Phills back in January. And Charlotte was in fourth, fell to sixth, and now making a run. McGrady misses off the glass. A 4-point lead for Toronto.
Very few second shot attempts at either end of the floor. And that's interesting because we have two excellent offensive rebounding teams here tonight.
Foul is on Muggsy Bogues. It'll be his second personal foul. Eldon Campbell, who picked up 2 fouls in the first quarter, back in at center for the Hornets. So it's Baron Davis along with Wesley, who bobbled the ball and goes to the corner and hits the shot. Matt Cooley, David Wesley hot from the field.
Well, what they did was they set a screen for Wesley. He faked coming off the screen, backdoored Curry, but fumbled the pass. But fortunately corrected it by hitting that mid-range jump shot.
Raptor lead is 2. Curry, a 2-point attempt. Del Curry, who spent 10 of his 14 years here in Charlotte. He missed 14 games with that plantar fasciitis, that tough heel injury that just nags you. And a timeout called. Tracy McGrady with 9 points, second to Vince Carter's 12. Carter getting a rest right now on the Toronto bench. Timeout, 6:49 remaining in the first half. The Raptors lead the Hornets by 4.
Chrysler Concorde, 4-wheel independent suspension, and a powerful V6.
I didn't know Davis could move like that. I told him to think of himself as something powerful and agile. Wonder what he was thinking.
Now get $1,000 cash allowance on the Chrysler Concorde.
After 5 months of waiting, opening day is finally here.
Once the season starts, then it counts. Then you play for keeps.
He made the catch!
It's time to win.
The Atlanta Braves, opening day, 4 p.m. Eastern Monday on the Superstation.
Time Warner Cable delivers the best. Bad guys. Good guys. Action. Adventure. Danger. Value you can experience every day from television's hottest networks. And it's all right here on Time Warner Cable.
It's cool, I said. Cool.
What you want to see is in demand.
Cavalry. I rather prefer a dragon. Hundreds, torches.
Take no.
Let's go, little brother. It's beginning.
Antonio Banderas, the 13th Warrior, is in demand. What you want to see when you want to see it. You rule.
The basketball is right here. Here is Del Curry. This is the fear that he puts in. The pass is made. Here we have Elton Campbell, whose man is Kevin Willis. He runs all the way out to pick up Del Curry, but unfortunately for him, Willis goes right to the front of the rim, and no one picks him up. But that is the fear that Del Curry puts into you because he is one of the greatest three-point shooters in the history of the league. He has made over 1,100, and he has shot at 40%.
6:45 remaining in the first half. Wesley guarded by Del Curry. Tries to go baseline, feeding Baron Davis with a great move against McGrady, the taller McGrady. And now it is a 2-point Toronto lead.
At the top of the show, we told you that Charlotte, you know, is a very good team about passing the basketball, along with Toronto. Both are right up there in the assist category.
Eddie Robinson trying to stay with Del Curry. You got to respect the three-point shooting of Curry and D. Brown when he's in there. McGrady hitting the shot, and very tough to get a piece of that with those long arms and the high arc.
Oh, I like your stretch right here. I mean, you're into this one.
I mean, I'm an actor.
Yeah, but we can see at 6'8", he just shoots up over the top of the small guards.
Mason going up. And here's McGrady coming down. 4-point lead for the Raptors. Very important game for Toronto. And now the offensive foul called against Tracy McGrady. That'll be his first.
Now, I'm coaching this team. I say something to him right now. Because Muggsy Bogues was wide open in that left corner. And McGrady just shook him off and tried to beat Wesley. An excellent anticipation by Wesley.
Vince Carter has come back into the game, replacing Muggsy Bogues. Carter sat out 6 minutes, but the Raptors have a 4-point lead, so they did very well without their star, who has 12 points. In fact, they gained 8 points on the Hornets. Mason hitting the jumper. 14 now for Mason, who leads all scorers.
Okay, time and time again, Toronto will trap. They trapped the screen and roll that time. The man rolled was wide open.
And a big lineup for Toronto. They have both Kevin Willis and Antonio Davis in the game, with Carter, McGrady, and Del Curry. And there is Carter spinning his way in and fouled. Baron Davis got a hand on him, and Vince Carter will go to the free throw line.
Well, Vince Carter is we all know that he can jump up over the top of the majority of guys who play him. Well, right there, Baron Davis, a point guard, picked him up, and as he made his move, and it's interesting because you would think that Carter would get to the foul line more often. He only attempts 7 foul shots a game.
That's surprising. He went to the line 15 times in a losing cause against New Jersey last night. Carter, of course, a member of the U.S. Olympic team. Tom Gugliotta's injury necessitated the fact that Carter, who was miffed at first that he wasn't on the team, was going to complete his college education in North Carolina, but now says he's very pleased to be on the team under any circumstances. And he'll represent the country well in Sydney.
Well, he still can take those courses because the summer school ends August 4th or 5th, and they do not report to training camp until the middle of the 20s in August.
Jones leaps up to keep it alive for the Hornets. Blocked by Antonio Davis. Here comes Vince Carter, 3-on-2, and an alley-oop play, ill-advised, as it's picked off by Baron Davis. And coming in the other side, so you turn it over at one end, and Eddie Jones beats you at the other.
Well, when you see a pass like that that's forced and ends up in the NBA, when you have an opportunity for a layup and you do not complete it, it's interesting how fast they score at the other end.
And Kevin Willis, how often have we seen that jump hook off the glass as he delivered there? Kevin Willis, who has been around a long time, 15th year in the NBA, 3-point lead for Toronto. Double teamed on Mason. Jones for 3. He's got it. Eddie Jones now with his second 3-point basket, giving him 13.
Well, we told you now, this is an area that Eddie's really improved his game, and that is in the 3-point shooting. He shoots a very dangerous 38%, but he's looking for the shot now at this time in his career.
Game is tied, and there you see 5 for 10 for both teams from 3-point territory. And there is Davis with the left-handed hook. Eldon Campbell with a rebound. Baron Davis pushing it up against Del Curry. Here's Jones, who's going to try another 3 and hit another 3. Eddie Jones now with his third 3-point basket, his second in a row from beyond the arc, and the Hornets, who are down by 6 at one time, leading again by 2.
In this game, Dick, on the fast break transition opportunities, we have 2 teams that run for the 3-point shot. So not only do you have to defend the guy going for the layup, but you must defend this situation right here by running to the wing to cover the 3-point specialist.
The wind howled through the trees. The monster had escaped. Danger lurked around every corner. He could be anywhere, even inside the house.
What happened to the monster?
Let's read something else.
Dad, are you scared?
It was a beautiful day.
Don't be afraid to read to your kids.
What could you do with an extra $4,700? Well, during Chrysler's National Minivan Savings Event, get 0.9 financing for 60 months for over $4,700 in finance savings. Only your Chrysler Plymouth dealer has this offer and this selection of minivans. So indulge yourself. Or not. Only Chrysler offers 0.9 financing for 60 months on all 2000 minivans.
Greetings, television viewers. We are in the midst of a technological revolution, a time where anything as unbelievable as it may look or sound is possible. With that said, I'm here to tell you that you can have totally free internet service. That's right, read my lips. 100% free internet service. You never have to pay. Not now, not when pigs fly away, not ever. Good day.
The NBA on TNT, brought to you by FreeInternet.com. Get totally free internet access. Download FreeInternet.com because the internet was meant to be free. And by Chrysler, giving you back the romance of driving.
And thanks to Eddie Jones, the Hornets again lead by 3. Sunday on TNT, a television network premiere.
Kevin wants to be a great lawyer. Boss wants his soul. Keanu Reeves, Al Pacino, The Devil's Advocate. Sunday night at 8 on TNT.
There's Derek Coleman, as we mentioned, not playing with an inflamed left knee, having a big year. The leading rebounder, second leading scorer, and shot blocker for Charlotte.
Well, he's having a terrific year. In the last 33 games, he's giving them 20 points as well as 9+ rebounds and shooting a very high percentage.
Christie back in the game, tries to loop it in. Very nearly turned it over that time. But the Raptors were alert to keep it 2 on the shot clock. And McGrady... And the foul made with 1 second on the shot clock. Before the shot, it was Baron Davis who fouled McGrady, and you didn't know whether McGrady was going to get it off before the clock expired.
Well, right now, the clock reverts to 14 seconds.
That's the new rule this year. Same as a kickball. Here is the Carter. Leaves it out to McGrady for 3. Knocked out of bounds, and it's going to be Charlotte's ball.
Now, Dick, in a situation like that, you throw the ball into Vince Carter. He's got a mismatch in size. He throws it out to you. Throw the ball back in. You still had anywhere between 12 to 14 seconds. And then if he gets double teamed, he'll kick out. You'll get a better look in the basket.
Baron Davis seeing a lot of time off the bench here in the first half. Christie guarding Wesley. Here is Anthony Mason, who has 14 points. And Mason, I tell you, Mason works his way in with that wide body. And he has 6 assists to go along with his 16 points.
See, by playing small, what they're saying is they're not happy with Chucky Brown tonight. They're not happy with Fuller. So they're playing Eddie Jones as a small forward.
Willis with the reverse lay-in, and Kevin Willis giving the Raptors some inside offense for a big man off the bench, has 8 points.
Yeah, he's looking good tonight. He's hit the 2 jump hooks and also 2 reverse layups.
Eldon Campbell down low. Block.
Nice block.
And it was Antonio Davis on the block, and the Raptors, who trailed by 3, and driving in was Kevin Willis, and he had to be fouled that time by the smaller Baron Davis, and that'll be 3 on Davis. Right now, let's check in with Reggie Theus.
Hey, Dick, in the game, you might see Anthony Mason playing what we call a point forward. Now, he's not the first one to ever do this. Scottie Pippen and Larry Bird also played point forward, but the team was slumping, and Coach Paul Sides went to this to solve a log jam in the low post area. Now, Mason, Coleman, and Campbell all have room to do what they do best. Obviously, in the last 4 games, Mason at the point forward position, averaging 18 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists. He's got 6 tonight, and that 8 assists per game in the last 4 games would put him 9th in the NBA at the point guard position, guys.
Remember Paul Pressey?
I was just going to bring that up. You beat me to it, you old devil. Now with Don Nelson with the Milwaukee Bucks, had Paul Pressey, a small forward, do it. They made a big deal about it. And then guys like Havlicek would say, hey, wait a second, I was doing that 20 years ago. All right? But we all know that there have been other forwards who moved to the backcourt all throughout basketball because of their great dribbling ability and their unselfishness in giving up the ball. But the first time that they called it a point forward was Don Nelson with Paul Pressey, and I give you plenty of you're looking good after this game, I'll tell you right now.
Well, I got to come up to a level of an Emmy nominee. All right. Meanwhile, Charles Oakley and Muggsy Bogues have come back into the game for the Raptors. Wesley firing over Bogues hit. Wesley has 10 points already, so he is playing with a lot of fire tonight.
They're catching the trap. They're making a trap, swinging the ball to the other side. It's opening up jump shots.
Oakley hitting a 3, and remember, it was Oakley who hit the 3 from the corner when the Raptors came back from 17 points to beat Cleveland the other night. Both teams are shooting well over 50% or just over 50%.
Yeah, they catch Christie here, roughing up the cutter going through the lane.
Third foul on Doug Christie. Want to remind you, coming up on the AT&T halftime report, Ernie Johnson along with Kenny Smith. I wonder who Kenny Smith will be rooting for tomorrow in the NCAA semifinals. Let's think about this. Scores and highlights, including the games between the Timberwolves and the Pacers and the New Jersey Nets playing in Orlando in a big one. And we'll have a preview of the second half of our big TNT doubleheader as the Philadelphia 76ers, a threat down the stretch in the East, at least. Allen Iverson go against the Lakers with Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant. 18 for Jones. 2-point lead.
Paul Silas just brought in Fuller to replace Elton Campbell, so they does not pick up a cheap foul here.
D. Brown missing the layup, but Willis is there. A big game for Kevin Willis off the bench. And we're tied at 54. Willis is 5 for 5, and most of them, of course, from the inside as of late. And here is Baron Davis missing the shot, but a personal foul called with 34 plus remaining in the half. Foul is on Kevin Willis. It'll be his first foul. Willis with 12 points is second to Vince Carter's 13. Carter with only 1 point here in the second quarter, and Tracy McGrady, the other Raptor, in double figures with 11. Here is Todd Fuller on the free throw line. It was the Atlanta game when Campbell couldn't go, and he scored 11 points on 5 for 9 shooting, 15 rebounds, including 6 off the offensive glass in a big 35-minute performance against the Hawks 2 games ago.
Well, I like what Paul Silas had to say. In the early going, he was not getting much time, but he worked very hard, stayed with it. When his opportunity opened up, he came in, gave us a tremendous lift when Campbell was out, and played very consistent. They have a lot of confidence in him now, and with Miller out with knee surgery, he will now be in the rotation.
Here is Charles Oakley hitting the second three. Hitting the 3, and the Raptors regain the lead by 1. This is a critical game. The Charlotte Hornets looking for the season series in case that's the tiebreaker against Toronto.
That was Oakley's 14th make this year in 3-point shot attempts.
That's his career high for a season, Hubie.
Yeah, 14 for 31. Now that's pretty shooting good at some percentage.
He tied his career high with 12 3-pointers in a season in the last game, and already has 2 spectacular bombs. And I would say to silence the crowd, but Hubie, they have been silenced from the start tonight.
Absolutely. I'm right on to that with you, Dick. I just don't understand it. The building is like a morgue. And you can see that they are catching. They continue to catch the defense down below the foul line. They rotate the ball out, and Toronto is happy tonight attempting the threes.
I haven't been in a morgue lately, but I'll probably guess what that's like. Toronto, by the way, 5 for 8 from 3-point territory with 4.3 seconds remaining. But this is a capacity crowd, and you never know it by the lack of response here.
That's right. You know, this is an interesting team, the Charlotte Ball Club. They have an excellent record at home. They're 25-10. But on the road, with all of this talent that they have, they're only 14-21. Now, you have to look at that and say, geez, well, what's the problem? Well, how about with teams over 500? They have a losing record there also. They are 18-24. But you turn around and you look at their overall record, they're 8 games over 500. You say, well, what happened? They kill the sub-500 team.
Except in the playoffs, as Eddie Robinson comes in, you don't have the sub-500
there you go.
teams.
And that's why we brought up the point at the top of the show. Toronto has 14 losses versus the sub-500 teams. And here, Charlotte only 7, and here they are fighting for that spot.
And, you know, you talk about the Hornets in their home court. They have dropped 7 of their last 12 here at the Hive, so they have a
great
slump
steal.
here. Great steal. Jones, and it'll count if it goes, and it doesn't, and that's the end of the first half. Eddie Jones, however, with 18 points, 11 here in the second quarter, including 3 threes. And the Toronto Raptors paced by Carter with 13, but he didn't do much in the second quarter. And that'll do at the end of the first half. An exciting high-scoring affair with the game all even. The Raptors and the Hornets tied at 57. Right now, let's send it out to the court and Reggie Theus.
All right, thanks a lot, Dick. It's a great half of basketball for both teams. But you, 18 points, you're playing the best year of your career. What has been the difference for you this year?
Just having some freedom. I think just freedom is the world to me. You know, if I can get out there and just scrap, do all the things, run up and down the court, I'm a good player.
I heard that when you were having a little bit of a hard time this year, you said you had to get back to be more aggressive. Is that what you're doing right now?
Exactly. I think when I'm aggressive, we play well, and I'm Eddie Jones at that time.
Well, when the team goes, that's the way you go. All right, now, let's go back to Dick.
All right, thank you, Reggie. Eddie Jones with a smile on his face, well-deserved, and a great first half. And talk about players you want to keep. The Hornets keeping their fingers crossed, hoping that they can keep Eddie Jones beyond this year. So at halftime, we're all tied at 57. When we come back, Ernie Johnson, Kenny Smith in our Atlanta studios.